All right, guys, so time for a midday market recap. Here we are at the end of the week, and this is day 9 of the small account challenge. So, 9 days in, today is my second best day of the challenge. Yesterday was my best day with $1,700 profit. Today I'm up $799.18. So, I'll finish the week with right under $4,500 in equity versus my starting balance on day 1 of $583, I'm up about 670%. At the same time, I'm only about a fifth of the way to my first target, which is $25,000. So, this is a marathon, and I have been fortunate to get a couple of good trades here in the last couple days, and that's definitely boosting up my buying power. You can see right here that my buying power at this right as of these gains is $25,000. So I'm starting to be able to trade, with bigger size, and that means that I can have days like today where I make $800 pretty much, easily in the first hour of the day. So that's going to help me grow this account. It's certainly going to make it easier for me to, build up the profits and make my way towards 25,000. But at the same time, it also means that if I take 3,000 shares or 4,000 shares of a stock and I lose 50 cents, it's going to be a big step backwards. So, this is the thing with trading. If you lose half your account, if you go from 100,000 down to 50,000, you've got to go up 100% to get back to where you were. So, every time you take a step back, you've got to go twice as far forward in order to get back to break even. And that's the tough thing with, having those types of setbacks is that it can take a really long time to get out of the hole. Now, for me, today I also finished my 29th consecutive winning trade. So, that seems kind of ridiculous to have that many winners in a row. I haven't had one loss in the SureTrader account, but it's because I'm employing a very specific type of strategy. Right now, while the account is small, it's really important for me to get small winners and to just keep stacking them up, stacking them up. So anytime I'm up 20 cents, I sell either half or the whole position and put my stop at break even. That means if I get into a trade and it works, even just 20 cents, it'll definitely be at least a small winner. Now, for me, I'm looking at setups that are momentum trades on small cap stocks priced between $3 and $10, and I look to get in at the apex point. So, on a stock like NAKD, which we traded today, which was very volatile, I got in this at apex points where I expected breakouts, and that's what we got. I'll show you one of the examples here. When I got in this, for the break, the first candle to make a new high right here. I got in at 310, expecting the break. We popped up to 320. It didn't hold that level, so I stopped out with about, I think, 5 cents of profit, a small winner. I got back in here for the break up to up towards 350. I got in, got a quick winner, got out. So I'm getting in at the first candle to make a new high. I'm getting in at these apex points where I expect to see a lot of volume come into the name. If I get in and I'm wrong, and volume doesn't come into the name, then, I'll take the loss and I'll stop out tight with 10-cent loss. But because I'm trading stocks that have really high relative volume, I'm usually right. And I'm usually looking at the same exact setup that thousands and thousands of other traders all around the world are looking at. NAKD today, let's just look. NAKD has 11 million shares of volume today. So in terms of relative volume, it's got to be, I can pull up my relative volume leader scanner here, but it's going to be ridiculously high. It's probably one of the leading relative volume stocks of the day. Let's see, I can pull this up in trade ideas. So volume, relative volume leaders next, and let's do it. All right. So interestingly, let's see, we've got TBIO on there and DFFN. I just want to make sure this is actually configuring for the right stocks. I can scroll down on this also. And I've got to add some filters on this. So let's look only for stocks between $1, well, $1 and $10 is fine. we'll say next. $1 and $10. So where's NAKD? Go alphabetical. Remember, relative volume is on a scale of 1 is average, and anything above that is a multiple of average. So if you have a stock trading on 5 times relative volume, it's trading literally 5 times higher volume than it normally would trade. I don't know why this scanner is not working. But I can just scroll back here to NAKD. So NAKD trading on relative volume of 7,600 times normal. That's crazy relative volume. That's crazy, crazy high, right? 7,600 times higher than average. So, that's a big deal. And when I was looking yesterday at my trading stats, you could see that almost all of the stocks that I made a lot of money on in 2016 were trading on 500% or higher relative volume versus 50-day volume average. So, that's me looking for that small handful of stocks each day that have the potential to make a big move, to move 20 or 30%, that have a catalyst. Or maybe they don't have a catalyst, but they're gapping up, and this is what traders are going to jump on. It's not just me, it's thousands and thousands of traders around the world. So traders, we're all looking for the same setup, those universal patterns, the bull flags, the flat top breakouts. If you just sit patiently and wait to get in for the first candle to make a new high, on a pullback, something like this, the place where you get in is typically where you're going to see a lot of other traders get in. That's where you get the volume spike. So it's kind of, you just have to be a sniper with your entries. You have to dial it in so precisely, really down to the penny, that this is the exact price I want to get in this stock, and here's my stop. It's a 10-cent stop. If you're good at that, you'll do really well. Now, I've been in my SureTrader account really diligent about putting out profit targets, taking half when I'm up 10 cents or 20 cents, adjusting my stops to break even. In my SureTrader account, I haven't been or my SpeedTrader account, my big account, I haven't been as aggressive with that. I've been like, yeah, I'll hold some of these positions and let them work. I did that today on one trade on NAKD, and I was down like $3,000 in my big account. It came back up, and I sold it for a $1,700 profit. So, it ended up working out, but I was definitely being a little bit more sloppy in that account while I focused on my small account. And that's the challenge of trying to trade 2 accounts at once. When you divide your focus, not everything gets, the best execution. So for me, I've got to do really well in the small account. That's where I'm putting the pressure on myself to perform and to be at my best. Now, speaking of putting on the pressure, yesterday obviously was a fantastic day. Best day of the year, huge jump forward, $1,700 profit in the small account. I was up 92%. And I was thinking, geez, Ross, this is your, as of yesterday, it was like my 25th consecutive winning trade, and it's, day 8 of the hot streak, 8 consecutive winning days. And here we are Friday. And what is today? It's Friday the 13th. And, it's the end of the week. And is this going to be the day that I go into the red? And as I was getting dressed this morning, I was like, oh, maybe that sweatshirt I was wearing yesterday was a lucky sweatshirt. Maybe I should wear the same sweatshirt. Maybe I should just wear the same whole outfit, everything the same. Don't change a thing. And, traders, I think, can get a little superstitious, kind of like, professional athletes. And it's because we have to perform every single day. We step up to the plate. We've got to be at peak performance. We can't screw up. That's certainly the feeling for me, that I can't have, I mean, I can. I know that it'll happen, but I don't want to have a day where I go deep into the red and I make a big mistake. And so, today I was definitely feeling a little bit of that superstition, a little nervous, just knowing that I'm due for a red day. I know that I am. I'm due for a red day. I'm due for a red trade, and I know it's not going to take much to lose $400. I mean, it can happen so fast. Just as quickly as I made, 400 on those 2 trades, I could lose it. So the pressure is getting to me a little bit, but I'm wearing a different sweatshirt, I'm wearing a different outfit, and the good news is I'm closing the day green. So, Day 9 is in the books. 29th consecutive winning trade, up 670% on this small account. And today I'm up about 20%, a little over 20%. So this is a great way to finish the week. Monday, we've got the day off, Martin Luther King Day, so no trading on Monday. It'll be a short week next week. And I'll pick back up on Tuesday, working towards that $25,000 goal. And like I said, I'm only a fifth of the way there. So this is a marathon. And if my target is to get to $100,000, I'm only 5% of the way there, 4.5% of the way there. So these are, long-term goals, but you know what? This is kind of what every trader needs to have. We're not doing this just to make, $10,000 by the end of the month so we can, pay rent or something. I mean, we're doing this because we want to make a career out of trading the market. So you have to think of the long term. You have to think of the big picture. And my kind of long term outlook that I talked about last night in my 2016 annual review is that there are some things I'd like to do differently for 2017. I've set my goals of what I'd like to accomplish. I'd like to improve my metrics. I'd like to improve my accuracy. These things will take, a little bit of time. It's not something I'm not going to expect that I'm going to be able to double my performance or, go from being 60% or 65% accurate to 85% accurate. I'm going to set realistic goals, but at the same time, I want to continue to improve. I want to be someone who's trading, 30 years from now. I'm sure the markets will change. I'm sure there'll be a lot of changes I'll have to adapt to, but I want this to be a career that I can count on for a long time. And that means always working to make improvements. So I encourage you guys to do the same. Say, well, I want to make short-term goals, my goal for the week, my goal for the month, but I certainly don't want to do something, detrimental to my potential long-term career, like mismanage risk in a moment of emotional frustration and then blow up my account and I'm out of the game. And that's something that we all know it's not hard to lose $3,000-$4,000. With my small account, the whole account would be gone, and it would be emotionally devastating to have to go back to square one. I mean, it really would be at this point. I'm 9 days in. I've been building this account for the last 9 days. Think of you're a home builder and you've been building a house for 9 days, and then someone comes along and knocks it down. You got to start over from square one. I mean, you can only do that so many times before you just lose your mind. And unfortunately with trading, that's something that will happen on a fairly regular basis. We build up, and then we get a little step back. Little step backs are okay, and we've, got to be able to handle it. But we don't want to let those turn into deep, deep drawdowns. And that's something I talked about also in the 2016 review is my biggest drawdowns of the year and some of the challenges that I had in 2016 with my trading. But overall, it was a great year, $222,000. And so at the end of the year, I cleared out all my profits, started my account with $583, and I set the goal to make, if I can, $100,000 this year. So even though I'm going to be making less money than I made last year, I'll be doing it from a balance of just $500 and trying to prove the fact that you can make a living with an account that small. It's not about how much money you have, it's about the skill. So, you'll hear me say that a lot, but it's really true. And it's important that you guys focus on, getting the training and realize that it's not about having a lot of money. It's about learning. So, this is where we are coming here, finishing the end of the week. And between my two accounts, I'm up about $15,000 this week. It's a great week. Now, last week wasn't so impressive. Last week I had a couple red days in my big account, overtraded ETRM. But the small account did pretty well. So this is kind of a big leap forward here for the month of January, which is awesome. We've still got 2.5 weeks, or looks like only 11 trading days left in the month. But my goal, like I had said, my goal for the month was $4,500 in the SureTrader account because that would have been the same percentage of growth that I made during the entire month of March in 2016. So I've actually already hit that in 9 days, which means I'll just kind of set my target to, I guess, 8,600. 8,600 is the same amount I made in March last year. So if I can make that this year with half size account, I'll have doubled my performance, and that'd be a pretty cool accomplishment. So in order to get there, I would need to make $2,000 next week and 2,000 the following week. So, averaging about $400 a day for the next 10 days. We'll see. I don't know. I mean, I might have days where I'm break even, or maybe where I have a loss, hopefully not too big of a loss. But if I have a couple days like today where I double my profit target, then that can afford me some of those slower days. At the same time, if I don't hit $8,000, that's fine. That's totally 100% like it's an arbitrary number. It's just, I could put it anywhere, but let's just say 8,600, and see what I can do. 2 more weeks. Hopefully trading will continue to be on my side. This month has been, or really this week has been incredible with the momentum stocks. I mean, we had MYOS, we had SGNL, we had NAKD today, 200%. BIOP, not the biggest move, but fairly volatile as well. GLBS, I mean, we're seeing trade after trade after trade just going parabolic. So it's a great time to be building a small account, and it's kind of what I was hoping we would see in January. Traders would come back from the holidays and jump in and get aggressive, and now we're seeing that. Someone's saying GLBS is halted here. Let's see what the news is. Halted news pending. Ugh. So this is the interesting thing as well. Let's see. And yeah, Osiris, 9 days. Oh yeah, I'm in 9. Today's day 9 because we didn't trade on Monday the 2nd because of the holiday. So today's the 9th day, and we've only got 11 days left in the year, or in the month. Sorry, because the market's closed on Monday. So that makes it a short week. So that's 9, 10, 11. But one thing we saw today on NAKD, which is always a little scary, is that the stock was halted with news of a secondary offering. And you can see here how all of a sudden, the stock went from, a nice move up from whatever it was, $2 up to just under $4, and then back down. And then in this candle here, it dropped quickly. The news halted, and then it resumed. So having a stock come out with that kind of news in the middle of the day that it's spiking, is a little unusual. Typically, we see companies release that type of news after hours, which is why I don't like holding overnight. But the fact that we're seeing those types of headlines in the middle of the day, it'd be something to watch for. And now GLBS is halted, also pending news. And you can see here on this one, a big squeeze up from $3 to $7. I mean, give me a break. That's ridiculous, 135%. But you know what that is? It's an opportunity. And you can criticize it all you want. You could say, oh, it doesn't make sense. It shouldn't go up. It shouldn't go up. And that's fine. You want to sit on the sidelines and do that. I'm sitting on the sidelines today. I didn't even trade it today. But, I'm just saying that is an opportunity. And traders who, want to be able to capitalize on it, I guarantee you, this is a stock that went from $3 to $7. There's an opportunity in there to take 1,000 shares and capture 20 cents. There's $200. You could probably do it once, twice, maybe 3 times and get $600 out of the name. You increase your confidence, you can do it with 2,000 shares. You increase your confidence, maybe 3,000. You can keep scaling up to the point where when you have stocks like this that move 100%, you're making, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000. And I'm sure there'll be traders posting on Twitter and whatever else that they made thousands of dollars on this stock today. I'm sure there's students in the room that made a lot of money on this one today. I hesitated on it a little bit and then missed what I felt was the right entry. Didn't want to chase it. I also felt like I'd already totally hit my goal for the day. It's Friday the 13th, feeling a little superstitious. Let's not push my luck. Just, take the money, get out of the market. Yesterday, by far, was the day that I traded the most in my SureTrader account, trading 6 different stocks. And I was on, let's see, which trade was it? I was down $160 yesterday on APOP, on the trade that I got in right around 690. I was down about $160 on that one. And I was like, okay, let's just give it a second. I already was up over 1,000 on the day, so I was like, if I take a loss, I can handle it. Let's just see what it does. And immediately it popped back up, and I sold that one for, $100 profit. So, but I was starting to get into the point of the day where I was like, I might be pushing my luck. I might be getting a little too aggressive, and maybe I need to, rein it in a little bit. And that's the thing. Once you have a day where you're up, a couple $1,000s, it's easy to get a little sloppy because you're like, what's $500? I'm already up, $3,000. Whereas you would never do that on a day when, you're only up 400 or 500. So there's two sides to that. On the one hand, on a day when you're up a lot, you can get a little complacent. On the other hand, on a day when you're up a lot, you can start to leverage the fact that you've got this big cushion and be more aggressive. And it's a fine line between which one you're doing, because when you decide to risk $1,000, say you're up $3,000 and you're like, you know what? This is a quality setup. I'm going to step up to the plate. I'm going to risk 1,500 on it. That's more than I would normally risk, but the potential for 2-to-1 profit loss ratio is that I'll make $3,000. If I make $3,000, it's going to put me up $6,000 on the day. And this is the type of day where, I have the cushion. I can afford to be a little more aggressive. And, so I try to do that on my best days. And by using that type of mentality of, when the market's hot, be aggressive, I'm able to capitalize, like yesterday, make $1,700. Yesterday is one of those days where I could have said, you know what, you're up 300, call it a day, shut it down. But instead, I pushed hard, knowing that yesterday was the type of day that's going to really tide me over during a slow period. I may have a day, very likely I'll have a day in the SureTrader account where nothing meets my quality standard to take a trade, and I will not take any trades that day. It's better to be break even than to be red. Much better. So, if I get into something or if I'm looking at the scanners and I don't see anything worth taking, I'll sit on the sidelines. And if, maybe I'll take trades in my speed trader where I can, where I've got such a big buffer, I can lose a little bit and it's not a big deal. But with a small account, you've got to be so, just meticulous about what you're willing to trade, so disciplined. And you know that any lapse in judgment can really set you back. So getting to the point where you can have that type of self-control, it takes time. It took me a long time to get here, and I'm doing better even now than I did last year at this time. So, even a year later, every year, every 6 months, you're getting a little bit better, a little bit better. So I try to remind traders that, if you're feeling like you're not performing at the level that you'd like to be performing at, just remind yourself that the you in 6 months is going to be a little smarter and a little better than the you of today. So, just rest assured that, you don't have to take those 10, 15, 20,000 share positions now. You know that the you of 6 months will handle them better. So maybe you just say, right now, I'm going to keep myself in kind of trader rehab, keep the position sizes 2,000 shares and smaller, and then, graduate from this at a set time. In 2 months, I'll graduate to 3,000 shares and just sort of slowly build your way up. Because if you go in just swinging, eventually you're going to strike out. And I've kind of been thinking that with my SureTrader that maybe yesterday I was being too aggressive. I was asking myself that, but my first two trades, were $200 profit each, got myself up $400 on the day, and then I had a cushion. And next trade, 2,000 shares, risking only $200. So I was risking only half of my profit. I made $600, made 30 cents. And then I was up 800. And from then, that last 1,000 was easy. So, I think that yesterday was fine, but I just don't want to use too much of my buying power and do something crazy. Today, I was looking at NAKD when it first came up, and I put out my order. I pressed Shift 1, and the order went out, or the order populates and tells me how many shares it's going to be. It prepares it, and then I can press enter, and it was like 10,000 shares. And I was like, no, that's crazy. Clearly, my buying power went up overnight a lot because of how much I made yesterday. Now, I wouldn't have been able to actually get filled on that order because this was a stock under $3. So I wouldn't have been able to take that much size. But it was a reminder that make sure you double check before you press that buy button again that you're not going too aggressive and you're not positioning yourself to, if this goes badly, have a big step backwards. All right, guys. So that's it for the week. Great job, everybody. I know a lot of you, have been loving this momentum. We've been having a lot of fun, and I hope that it continues into next week, and we can continue the month really strong. All right. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Again, I'm going to upload this to YouTube, and it's going to go on the podcast on iTunes. So you guys can listen in several different places and then ask me questions, and I'll make sure I comment back. Yeah, Tom, a good pre-market scanner. I'm using Trade Ideas for the scanner, and I love it. I mean, they're great. And Scotty, yeah, I'm using load, not send for my hotkey script. So it says, it says load. So it prepares it, and then it shows this little window, and I can show you actually right here. All right, so let's just press Shift 1. So right here, I just pressed the buy button. It's trying to send an order for 14,000 shares, and it says buy, enter. I've got to press the enter button to actually send the order, and then I can press the escape button to cancel it out. So yeah, that's that one there. Prepared order. And so I can see, when I press that Shift 1 with my hotkey, how many shares it's trying to populate, and then I can tell myself too many, or yeah, I'm okay with that, let's do it. It's game time. Let's see. And yeah, Julie, I mean, for me, during the first couple days, I was using max buying power. And when I started with $583, I knew that if I had 2 losses or even maybe just 1 loss, I'd have to go add more money to the account. But, that's the reality of having a very small account. You're right above the minimum, so you kind of need to get off on the right foot right away. And I was fortunate that I was able to. Fortunate, but I also chose stocks that were the strongest, and I was able to make money. So I think that was the right way to do it. Just trade the best quality setups and then book those profits quickly. But yeah, when I first started, I had about $600, 583. So 6 times 6 is 3,600. So I had $3,400 in buying power, which meant on a $3 stock, I could buy 1,000 shares. And so my very first trades in the small account, let's see, I bought 1,200 shares of ALLT, and I made 8 cents, which was $96. And I bought 1,000 shares of KPOR, and I made 5 cents, which was $50. So my first day, I made $124 after commissions. $124. Started the next day at $700. The next day, I took one trade on EVOK, 1,000 shares, made 7 cents, $70. Second trade was 1,000 shares of HMNY, 15 cents. I made $150, and I was up 187. That was a good day. That was a great day for the small account. I needed that 15-cent winner. I would have loved to have had 20, 30-cent winners, but I just wasn't having any early on. So, I could just continue to build the account like that. Small trades, using all of my buying power. So I could buy 1,000 shares of these $3, $4 stocks, but keeping really tight stops, knowing that if it drops down 10 cents, I'm just going to bail on it. All right, guys. So with that, I will let you guys go. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend. And I will see you all first thing on Tuesday morning. All right. Thanks, guys. I'll see you soon.
Let's be honest. If you made it this far, you must have really enjoyed that video. So what's stopping you? Subscribe right here and get email alerts anytime I upload new content. Until then, happy surfing